They knocked at 2:13 a.m. I shouldn't have answered. Most people think danger comes from outside, from the road, from strangers, from places you shouldn't have gone. But sometimes, you're already exactly where you're supposed to be, and something else finds you there. I remember the room being too quiet, not peaceful quiet, not the kind that helps you sleep, the kind that makes you aware of every small sound, every shift in the air, every little movement you can't explain. It was an older hotel, the kind you don't really question when you check in, but once you're inside, you start noticing things. The carpet felt worn, the walls a little too thin, the lighting just dim enough to leave corners in shadow. I'd been driving most of the day, long enough that everything started blending together. Road, lights, silence. So when I finally got into that room, I didn't think twice. Locked the door, set my bag down, turned off the lights, and for a while, everything was normal until I woke up. I don't know what woke me. There was no sound at first, no movement, just that feeling that something had changed. I looked at the clock. 2:13 a.m. And then I heard it. 2 knocks, soft, measured, not loud enough to startle you, just enough to let you know someone was there. I stayed still, didn't move, didn't even sit up at first. Then it came again. 2 knocks. Same spacing, same rhythm. That's when I sat up. No footsteps in the hallway, no voices, no doors opening or closing, just that silence again. And then, the third knock, 2 taps, closer this time. I got out of bed slowly, didn't turn on the light, just stood there for a second, listening because something didn't feel right. It wasn't just the knock, it was how calm it was, how patient. Like whoever was out there knew I was already awake. I walked toward the door, each step slower than the last. There's something about hotel doors at night. They feel thinner, like there's less between you and whatever's on the other side. I stopped a few feet away, waited. Nothing. Then, a voice. Room service. Soft, calm, almost polite, but I hadn't ordered anything. I moved closer, slow, careful, looked through the peephole. The hallway was empty, completely empty. No cart, no person, no movement, just that long stretch of carpet and dim overhead lights. I stayed there longer than I should have, waiting for something to move, for someone to step into view. Nothing did. Then the voice came again. Open the door. Same tone, same calm voice, but this time, it felt closer, too close, like it wasn't coming from where I was looking. I stepped back, heart starting to pick up now, trying to make sense of it, and that's when I looked down, at the gap under the door. No shadow. There should have been a shadow. Anyone standing there should have blocked the light, but there was nothing, just empty light stretching across the floor. That's when the handle moved. Slow. Barely enough to hear it. A small shift in the latch. I froze. Didn't breathe. Didn't move. The handle stopped. Then, very gently, it moved again, like someone testing it. Patient. That's when the phone rang. Right behind me. Sharp, loud, wrong. I turned fast, grabbed it without thinking. Front desk. The voice sounded normal, too normal. There's someone at my door, I said. Silence. Then, there's no one on your floor. I looked back at the door. The handle was still now. Are you sure? I asked. A pause. Longer this time. You're the only guest on that side. Something about that didn't sit right, because I knew what I heard. I knew what I saw. I can send someone up, the voice said. I looked at the door again. Still quiet. No, I said. I'll check. I don't know why I said that. Maybe I needed to prove it. Maybe I needed to see it for myself. I hung up the phone, walked back to the door, put my hand on the lock, and stopped, because once I opened it, whatever was out there wouldn't be a question anymore. I unlocked it anyway, slow, Pulled the door open. The hallway was empty, just like before. No movement, no sound, nothing. I stepped out, looked left, looked right, walked a few steps down, checked the corner. Still nothing. That should have been it. That should have been the end. But something made me turn around, and when I did, my door was open, wider than I left it, just enough to see inside, and the room was darker, like something was blocking the light. I stood there, not moving, not breathing, because I knew I hadn't left it like that, and I knew I wasn't alone anymore. I didn't move, not right away, because there's a moment right before something becomes real, where your mind tries to stop it. It tries to explain it. Maybe the door didn't close all the way. Maybe I didn't lock it like I thought. Maybe I left it open just a little. But I knew I didn't. I could still feel it. The lock, the way it clicked, the weight of it in my hand. I had checked it twice, and now it was open. I took a step back into the room, slow. The air felt different. That's the only way I can explain it. Not colder, not warmer, just different, like something had changed while I wasn't there. I stood just inside the doorway, listening. The same silence, but it didn't feel empty anymore. It felt occupied. I looked at the bed, still untouched, the chair, still facing it, the bathroom door, slightly more open than before. I don't remember leaving it like that. I didn't want to look, but I did. I took one step toward it, then stopped, because I heard something, not from the hallway, from inside the room. A shift, soft, like weight moving. My chest tightened. I turned, slowly, scanning the room, every corner, every shadow, nothing. But the feeling didn't go away. If anything, it got worse, like whatever was there knew I was looking. That's when I heard it again. 2 knocks. I froze, because this time, it didn't come from the door. It came from behind me, inside the room. I turned, fast, nothing, but the sound was real. 2 taps, same rhythm, same spacing. My eyes went straight to the bathroom. The door was open now, wider than before. I don't remember it moving. I don't remember touching it, but it was open, and the light inside was off. Completely dark. I stood there, trying to decide if I was going to look, because I knew. Once I did, there was no going back. I took another step, slow, every part of me telling me to stop, but I didn't. I reached the doorway, looked inside. Nothing, just the sink, the mirror, the vent above it. Still, quiet. But something felt wrong, not in the room, behind me. I turned, too fast, and for a second, I thought I saw something, standing near the bed, tall, still, watching. Then it was gone, or maybe it was never there. I don't know, but I felt it, that feeling you get when something is right behind you, and you're the last one to know. I stepped back again. Closer to the door now, thinking maybe I should leave, maybe I should just walk out. But something stopped me, because the hallway wasn't safe anymore either. That's when the phone rang again, louder this time, more urgent. I didn't want to answer it, but I did. Slow, careful. I picked it up, didn't say anything, just listened. At first, there was nothing. Then, a voice, soft, calm, too calm. You opened the door. My grip tightened. That's not what I told you to do. My stomach dropped, because that wasn't the front desk. And it wasn't coming from the hallway. It was coming from inside the room. I didn't move. I couldn't, because in that moment, everything made sense. The knock, the voice, the door. It was never outside. It was already here. I slowly lowered the phone, but didn't hang it up. I didn't want to hear it again. Didn't want to hear whatever it would say next. But I could still feel it, that presence. Closer now, not across the room, not near the door, behind me. I stood there, trying to convince myself to turn around, trying to force my body to move. But there's something about that moment, when you know something is there, and you also know you're not ready to see it. Then I heard it, breathing, slow, controlled, right behind me, not loud, not rushed, just steady, like it had all the time in the world. My hand tightened around the phone, and for a second, I thought about running, but I already knew it wouldn't matter because it wasn't chasing me, it wasn't rushing, it didn't need to. I closed my eyes, just for a second, and then I turned, slow, careful, and for the briefest moment, I saw it, standing there, right where I had been, just seconds before. Same height, same shape, but wrong. The way it stood, the way it held itself, like it was copying me, like it had been watching and learning. And then it smiled, not wide, not exaggerated, just enough to let me know it understood. The lights flickered, just once. And when they came back, it was gone. The room was empty again, silent, still, like nothing had ever been there. I didn't move, didn't speak, didn't even breathe for a second, because I knew. Just because I couldn't see it, didn't mean it was gone. I don't remember leaving that room. I don't remember packing my things. I don't remember checking out, but I do remember driving long before the sun came up. And I remember one thing, more clearly than anything else. When I looked in the rearview mirror, for just a second, I thought I saw it, sitting in the back seat, perfectly still, watching me. And then it was gone, or maybe it just moved. Because ever since that night, I've never really been alone. If you made it this far, you already know these aren't just stories. They sit with you long after they're over. And the worst part is, you don't know which ones are real until it's too late. So tell me, would you have opened that door or left it closed? Subscribe to Insomniac Stories before the next one finds you.